Klay Thompson and Jay McDaniels get into it. A grab leads to a shove. A shove leads to a chokehold from Draymond on Rudy Gobert. He's got him by the neck. LeBron with the full court heat pass to Anthony Davis. AD with the easy bucket, but it's not about that. It's about the shove from AD to Sadi Aldima. What the heck did Aldima say to AD to piss the big fella off? Now Desmond Bane's upset. Get out of my face. You're not invited to my birthday dinner in Calabasas. Welcome to another episode of the Who's Ferro podcast. They fighting in San Francisco. They fighting in LA. California got all the vibes. Draymond Green gets ejected for standing up for his man Klay Thompson and more. Let's get locked and loaded to some highlights provided by yours truly, the one and only Who's Ferro. Is episode 30, baby. James Harden makes his Los Angeles Clippers home debut on Russell Westbrook's 35th birthday. The Los Angeles Clippers hosting the Memphis Grizzlies. And in the first quarter, Brody scored his first points at age 35. Arguably the most athletic point guard of all time. His story continues. This game's tied at 7. Memphis now out in control. It's Marcus Smart stopping, popping, and pulling the 3. Not to be outdone by Paul George, who's got a 4-point play. We're tied at 36. Still in the second is Desmond Bane. Been shooting that thing with confidence all season long. The Grizzlies are up at the break. Third quarter. Smart still nailing 3-pointers. He had 17 points. Marcus finding Bane. Top of the key. Fall 3 of his 27 points. Memphis double-digit lead. Here comes Los Angeles. It's littered with the steal. Kawhi easily finishes. Fourth quarter. It's a 3-point game. PG 1-3. Fall 3. Georgia at 26, 7 and 7. We're tied at 93. 3 minutes to go. Kawhi no long 2 from Norman Powell. Clippers go out in front, but here comes Memphis. Smart to Bane again. Grizzlies go back in front by 1 possession. We're still in a tight one when Harden tracks down the rock and shows you that he still's got a wicked jump shot. We're tied at 98. Memphis got a 1-point lead. Look at this play from Marcus Smart. Loses it. Dives on the court. Gets it back to David Roddy, who extends the Grizzlies' lead to 3. That's why they brought him to Memphis. What a play from Smart. Clippers, though, they got a chance to tie this bad boy up. Kawhi instead opts to go for the quick 2. It's no good. Clippers remain winless in the James Harden era. They fall to the Grizzlies 105-101. AE versus Curry. Who's turning down Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves versus Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors? I'm not. And this game lived up to the hype of the stars. AE gets the first points in this battle. But then here comes Curry on the other end. That deuce counts plus the foul. Wardell like, woo, I'm a bad boy. Karl Anthony Towns has had some of the better games of his career against the Warriors. This was no different. How about Cat going and 1? 21 points and 14 rebounds for the big fella. Right before the end of the first quarter, it's Curry with the steal and the easiest deuce. Struggled from the field in this one, 11 of 25. So anytime you can get something easy, trust and believe Steph Curry appreciated it. Other end, Edwards just made everything look easy, showing you all the facets of his game, going glass, going 3. AE continues to dominate this season thus far. The T-Wolves are up by 6. A little don't mind if I do. Now you see me, now you don't. Somehow for his team, he made a play the Curry way. Steph goes and 1 right before the half. Third quarter, more Edwards and more Minnesota. Good basketball. Mike Conley, Cat playing the 2-man game. It ends up in a Towns 3. And then Naz Reid gets it over to AE, and AE does the rest. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my belief that the NBA has their next American-born superstar. It's not Ja Morant. It's not Jason Tatum. I believe Anthony Edwards is here. Arguably one of the last American-born superstars with that dude, Curry. He nails the 3. He had 38 points in this one. But his squad came up short. because Minnesota was clutch down the stretch, holding on to their lead in the midst of this game. Draymond and Edwards got into it. Draymond called Ant-Man out of his name and asked Edwards, what was you going to do about it? AE's response was just getting to the money and getting buckets for his squad. 33 points, 7 assists for AE. Most importantly, the T-Wolves get the 116-110 road win. Tyrese Maxey and the Philadelphia 76ers hosting the Indiana Pacers. You see what I did there? I didn't start with Embiid. I started with Maxey. Ironically, we're going to flip it. I'm going to kick this highlight off with the big fella. I'll end it with the other one, though. Tyrese Maxey took a seat back to allow his MVP to cook. Joel Embiid had 19 points in the first quarter. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, Embiid's well on his way to a 50-point game. That's not what happened. Embiid had 37, a great night, but he let his guard cook. Tyrese Maxey goes crazy in the second quarter, as you see, just nailing shots from everywhere and played some defense. How about the block? One Tyrese to the next. Halliburton on the receiving end of a Maxey rejection. I ain't never seen Harden make a play like that. Here comes Indiana, though, right before the half. It's Halliburton nailing the three. But in the third, back to the Maxey show. Tyrese in transition. After another big-time defensive play, nobody's stopping him in this one. Tyrese versus Tyrese still going on, ladies and gentlemen. It's Halliburton, 3 of his 25 points. And then Obi Toppin with the ridiculous reverse jam. You really don't see that dunk in the NBA anymore. He's like, let me just force it in with Embiid in my rear view. He throws down the dunk, but this night, though, belonged to Maxey. Incredible defensive plays to go with his best offensive night of his career, blocking Buddy Hield. And then Maxey stepping back, nailing another three. At this point, we're just wondering how many points would Tyrese score? I got an answer for you. It's a very round number. Maxey putting this game away. And then Tyrese putting the finishing touches on a 50-point night, a career high for Tyrese. How you gonna act like that? You know we be. Tyrese, how you gonna act like that? Y'all see what I did there? Maxey drops 50. The Sixers win by 11. Jaylen Brown leading his New York Knicks squad into Boston for a good old Eastern Conference 1-2. Celtics versus Knicks never disappoints. This one was no different. First quarter, Jason Tatum, 2 of his game high. More on him in the second. Other end, that Brunson dude, he's pretty darn good. Rick's son nails the 3. Jaylen led the Knicks in scoring with 26 points. Other end, what can Brown do for you? Speaking of Jaylen's, well, he can cross up Dante DiVincenzo and throw it down. In the second, Julius Randle joins his highlight with a little and one fun. And then back to the Brunson show, stopping, popping, and pulling that mid-range jump shot. It looks marvelous right there. 7-point lead for New York. But here comes that dynamic duo. Tatum and Brown, man. What can I say about them? They make plays to close out the first half. And just like that, Boston is only down a point. Brown nails the buzzer beater 3. Third quarter, more plays from JB, catching the other JB slipping, going baseline. Derek Wright rewards him. And then Kristaps Porzingis already torched the Knicks once this year, nails the 3 from the top of the key. How about this play, though, from current Knick Josh Hart? Catches Drew Holiday slipping. Didn't want to take the 3 because Holiday covered the ground really quickly to close out that shot. Bounces it off Holiday's back and then gets it back, nails the 3. Great play from Hart, but there were too many great plays from Tatum. Threes and deuces all over the place. I mentioned to you earlier in this highlight that Tatum had the game high. I would not lie to you. He did. The game high was 35. Tatum led everybody. Also at 7 assists and 6 rebounds. It all equals to a Boston Celtic win by 16. You never know. This might be the first of a legendary series between Chet Holmgren and Victor Wembanyama. Thunder hosting the Spurs. First quarter, it's Wembanyama. Gotcha. Look, neither one of these rookies played their best game in this one. At least Wembanyama can say, yo, I went behind the back on you. I did get you one time, Chet. Outside of that, there was pretty much nothing to be excited about if you were a Spurs fan, as SGA does what SGA is going to do. Beautiful step back deuce. And then how about Holmgren nailing the three? Just 3 of 10 from the field, 9 points. Second quarter, it's Wemby nailing the deuce. He had 8 points, 14 boards. This game was controlled by other great entities in OKC, like Josh Giddey, finding Holmgren. Beautiful pass. And then Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with the steal. He did a bunch of that in his basketball game. And the score. It's Giddey once again finding an open Holmgren who throws it down. Back to the SGA show. You know you getting a fire IG caption as SGA goes 28 points and 7 steals. I can see it now. She tried to steal my heart. She didn't realize I was already married to the game. Something like that. I don't know. With a 5-5, by the way. The Thunder win going away 123-87. You may never see a Luka Doncic game like this again. The Don didn't come with his A game against Zion Williamson and the Pelicans. Luka gets caught slipping twice in the first quarter. You see Zion with the easy takeaway and an even easier jam for the big fella in black and green. And then once again, Luka caught slipping. Marshall with the steal, and then he's not looking past the Jonas Valanciunas for the jam. Williamson, Lil Boy Day tomorrow is chest to chest, man to man, what Zion put in the gym versus what Dallas did. And in this one, I like Zion's chances. Marshall, at this point, he's just wilding. 3/4 court shot to beat the first quarter buzzer. Pelicans up by 7. Second quarter, Luka. Ooh, that ain't good at all. That's a stinker. He started his game off 1 for 8. Even the Don's got a smile because he know it won't be too many games like that. Probably the rest of his career. Pelicans taking advantage of Luka's bad play. How about Jordan Hawkins? This kid is a star in the making. I'm telling y'all now, he can score with the best of them. Pelicans up by 17 in the third. Ingram adding to it. B.I. had 25. And then from there, Zion asks, may I have this dance? It's Williamson off the alley from Ingram. And then how about this? Pelicans almost lose the rock. Zion's so incredibly athletic. They're still able to lob it up to Zion. Shout out Dyson Daniels there on the pass. And then Dyson still passing, but instead of the Zion, he makes another good pass to Jordan Hawkins. Tell y'all, man, this kid is a young stud. Back to the Zion show. Williamson's like, can I get it back one more again? Zion only had 19 points in this game. It felt like we showed all 19 of them. The Pelicans run away from the Mavericks 131-110. LeBron James back after a 1-game absence as the Los Angeles Lakers host the woeful Memphis Grizzlies. The team in black and purple had no problems with the team in white and blue. As you see, LeBron, whatever was going on for that one game, he figured it out. Looked pretty darn healthy in this one. By the way, LeBron was mic'd up during this game. As you see, he made some plays, not only for himself, but others, as AD scores the bucket. But after the play, how about AD and Saudi Aldima getting into it? I don't know what was said, but I'm pretty confident they are not going to dinner in Calabasas after this basketball game. AD shoves Aldima to the ground. You know, the refs got to do what the refs got to do. Nobody ejected for that, though, as play continues. Unfortunately, though, for Marcus Smart, not too many more plays will continue. As you see, it appears as though he injures his knee. He will leave the game and not return. That is a blow for a Grizzly squad that's already having a hard time figuring it out as is without Ja. The Lakers did not have a hard time in this one. AD and LeBron going to work. And then AD on the defensive end, rejecting Desmond Bane. AD was asked, when was the last time you and LeBron sat in the fourth quarter of a game together? And his answer was, ironically, against the Grizzlies, Game 6, last playoffs. LeBron and AD didn't have to play too much in the second half because Memphis just didn't have it. Already a 22-point game. AD with another big-time rejection as you saw Braun make some plays. And then can't forget about D'Lo on his stilo. It's Russell nailing the tray ball. The Lakers get the easy win. AD had 19, 11, and 5. That gentleman by the name of LeBron James, who's done a lot of scoring in his career, just had 16. And Russell chipped in 24. Lakers win by a bunch. James Harden still searching for his first win as a Los Angeles Clipper. Could he do it against the NBA's best? The Denver Nuggets barely lose at all, let alone in Colorado. Let's see how the Clippers would fare. Well, in the first quarter, it didn't look too great. Reggie Jackson finds Christian Braun, who's got some slept-on bunnies, by the way. Second quarter, the big fella, Nikola Jokic, he is, to me, clearly the best player in the world, and he looked like it throughout this one. Jokic nearly got another triple-double. He had 9 assists, go along with 16 rebounds and 32 points. Nuggets up 11. Here comes the Clippers. PG 1-3 had himself a first half and a game. 20 in the first half. Clippers hanging around as we took a break. Nuggets are up, though. Third quarter, Russell Westbrook. He's a 35-year-old grown man, still throwing it down like a 22-year-old. Speaking of throwdowns, look, Ma, I can fly. Aaron Gordon just levitates in the air, throws it down. He had a big game in this one as well. The Nuggets holding on to a 2-point lead. Here comes the bearded one. Maybe his best stretch as a Clipper yet. Harden pulling up, nailing the three, presumably giving the Clippers a 3-point lead going into the fourth. AG's got other plans, though. Gordon plays beat the third quarter buzzer. He nails the three. We're tied at 84. In the fourth, the Clippers would actually take over for a few minutes. George had 35 points, but the Nuggets would make another run led by their all-time great. It's Jokic just stat piling that rebound category. Gets the deuce to go. Then Kentavious Caldwell-Pope finds AG inside, plus the foul. And then more AG. This time, Jokic finds him. Nuggets up 109-104, 50 seconds to go. Some careless inbound play from the champs. You rarely see that. And some great hustle from Kawhi is going to give the Clippers a chance. George's high IQ play cuts the Clippers deficit down to a point. Take another look at this one. Kawhi on the ground for it. Reggie Jackson thinks George is going to go to the quarter to try to tie the game up. He keeps it himself. Clippers get a chance, down 3 in the closing seconds. And boy, if this ain't symbolic of the Clipper season thus far, I don't know what is. George with the wedgie had a great game, but a wedgie. And all in all, the Clippers would fail to get the rock on the inbound following George's wedgie. And your reigning NBA champs win again. Shout out Aaron Gordon. He had 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. He did pretty much anything Jokic didn't do. 111-108 is your final from Colorado. Next man up mentality. Steph Curry down for a few games. Golden State Warriors still in battle with the Minnesota Timberwolves. And when I mean battle for real. Jay McDaniels and Klay Thompson getting into it. Rudy Gobert tries to break it up. And Draymond Green puts Gobert in a full-fledged headlock. I don't know what Draymond was doing. The refs had to do what the refs had to do. Klay, McDaniels, and of course Draymond all get ejected. Let's just get to the second half. This game did get good. How about Brandon Podziemski, the rookie, with the steal on Cat? And then how about Podziemski, like, I ain't passing to nobody. I'm the one hustling. I'm the one selling the records. 23 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists for the Rook. He beats the buzzer there. Fourth quarter, it's Cat nailing the three. I swear, if he could just play Golden State every game of his career, he would be one of the greatest players ever. Chris Paul arguably is one of the greatest point guards of all time. He nails the three. We're tied up at 92. More stealing from Minnesota. It's Edwards swiping nose, swiping nose, swiping. Nobody's stopping him this season. Edwards gives Minnesota the lead. Here comes the Warriors. Nice pickup. Dario Saric has been for GSW. He nails the three. 98-96. Golden State up until Cat says enough is enough. 33-11 for Towns. And when it's winning time, Mike Conley with a cold-blooded three-pointer. Warriors will get a chance off the inbound. Chris Paul with the steal. But between Conley and Cat's threes, it's Minnesota holding on to get the road win 104-101 over the Warriors. After the game, Rudy Gobert was asked about being placed in a chokehold by Draymond, and his response made me think a little bit. He said, it's kind of funny because before the game, I was telling myself that Steph is not playing, so I know Draymond is going to try to go get ejected because every time Steph doesn't play, Draymond doesn't want to play. It's his guy. He'll do anything he can to get ejected. I thought what Rudy Gobert said was very interesting because I never thought of it. Draymond is never playing basketball when Steph's not playing. As a matter of fact, he does have a habit of getting ejected when Steph isn't playing. If you think about it, Draymond's whole stick as a player at this point in his career revolves around Steph. It used to be Steph and Klay, but Klay's no longer an efficient shooter. So if Draymond can't play with Steph, there's really no reason for him to be out on the court. And Draymond's got an incredibly high basketball IQ. If I know it and Rudy knows it, you know Draymond knows it. He ain't gonna play basketball with Steph not out there. It makes perfect sense what Rudy Gobert is saying. By the way, if you put me in a chokehold, I'm definitely dissing you after the game, especially because my team won. I never thought of it that way, but that makes absolutely perfect sense what Rudy said about Draymond. And I got more comments for you guys. Steve Kerr disagreed not with the ref's decision to eject Draymond, but the fact that Klay Thompson got ejected in this game. He said there's no way Klay should have been ejected. As far as Draymond, Rudy Gobert had his hands on Klay's neck. That's why Draymond went after Rudy. So Rudy Gobert was once again asked about now Steve Kerr's comments. And I like Rudy's comments again. He said, what do you want me to say? Steve Kerr is backing his guy, but I think he knows deep inside he doesn't want to say it, but he knows Draymond is a clown. Hey, there's still Rudy Gobert. I don't know what his future is after he's done playing, but I believe he's the guy I want as a TV analyst. He's keeping it real. I'd argue damn near as real as Draymond, who's arguably and ironically a TV analyst, and one that I think is going to be really good after his career, because I also agree with that. Rudy Gobert is saying Steve Kerr knows Draymond is ridiculous, but what is he going to say? They just gave him a new contract. Draymond's one of those one-of-one type of guys because when Steph is out there, let me be clear about that, Draymond does have a role, and I believe the Golden State Warriors re-signed him, number one, because whatever his role is, he's really good in that. There's not a lot of guys that's willing to do the Draymond role. He does fit it really well, and I don't think the Warriors really want to break that nucleus of Steph, Klay, and Draymond up just yet, with Steph still in the back end of his prime. But yes, I believe deep down Steve Kerr knows over the last year or so, Draymond has been an absolutely ridiculous basketball player. And y'all know I'm somebody that actually goes to war for Draymond. I love his podcast, by the way. And as a player, I'm one of the guys that believes Draymond is a Hall of Famer. I don't think it'll be a first ballot, but definitely second ballot. I believe Draymond's going to get in. I do believe that. So I've always went to war for Draymond, but I have to admit to you guys, over the last year and a half, 2 years, not only is Draymond declining athletically, but it can't be twofold, right? I give Draymond credit all the time for having a high basketball IQ. Well, if I'm going to give him the credit of being one of the higher basketball IQ guys in the league, I also got to be critical of a guy when he's not acting like that high basketball IQ guy. It can't be both. Like, if you got this high IQ and you're already down Steph Curry and your team needs you, and you know you started the season off injured, and the Warriors are struggling to win some of these regular season games that they used to be over and done with by the third quarter. They're no longer doing that. Klay's struggling. Like Draymond, you can't be getting ejected like you used to be able to in your prime, and your team still win by 12, 14 points. They need you to do something out there. And I can't just look past Draymond making bonehead play after bonehead play. I mean, he's pretty much guaranteed to give you 20 technical fouls a year now. That's too much for this Warriors team to be successful. Now, 4, 5, 7 years ago, he could get that off. they would still be number one, number two out the West, make it to the NBA Finals. That's no longer the thing. The Warriors are at a point now where they need an all-hands-on-deck type of approach to every basketball game they play if they're going to be successful. So if Draymond's going to continue to get ejected, yes, I know Steve Kerr for a long time has been thinking, this dude is giving me more headaches. And as many of you know, Steve Kerr has had a problem with headaches in the past. I don't think Draymond has made it any better, especially over the last couple years. It's been little gain and reward off of the pain that Draymond has been following their championship run.
George, Caldwell Pope is on him. Paul George, this could tie it. Oh, Reggie! Of all times to get it!
And I want to end this episode of the Hoops Ferro podcast discussing the most compelling storyline in the NBA over the last week and a half, 2 weeks. That's been James Harden, and the fact that since he's joined the Clippers, they don't even look like a team that's destined for the play-in tournament, let alone the playoffs, let alone the Western Conference Finals, and let alone an NBA championship contender out west. They lost again to the Denver Nuggets, who's got a habit of allowing the Clippers to hang around, and then when the Nuggets finally say enough is enough, they got the best basketball player on the court, and there's nothing the Clippers can do about it. LA is depleted at center. They just lost Plumlee, who's going to be out for a significant amount of time. Now, to be fair to the Clippers, Plumlee went down as soon as they made the James Harden trade. But obviously, looking back in retrospect, you got to believe the Clippers should have acquired another big or two, because now they're just stuck with Ivica Zubac, who I like Zubac a lot, but he's going to need some help. I mean, what they're asking him to do night in, night out, he can't guard Jokic. Now, to be fair, pretty much nobody in the league can guard Jokic right now, but I think it's, irresponsible for the Clippers to continue these games with pretty much P.J. Tucker being their backup center right now. That is not going to work, and you don't want Kawhi guarding Jokic, please. I love Kawhi, but he don't want no smoke with that dude that's from Serbia either, all right? With that being said, I saw a quote from a great NBA reporter, Chris Haynes. He recently said that the Clippers, specifically their head coach Ty Lue, has informed Bones Highland that he will not be a part of the rotation for the upcoming days. And obviously, it's in large part due to the fact that the Clippers just brought in James Harden, and they're trying to give him as much clock as possible. Ty Lue's going to lose his job as the Los Angeles Clippers head coach. Now, to be fair to him, I don't know if it was his decision to bring in Harden. It probably was the owner, Steve Ballmer, but you can't fire owners. Ty Lue's going to lose his job. I was just watching an interview with Doc Rivers. He just told Dan Patrick that he feels as though he lost his job because of James Harden. If you really want me to take a step further, I can argue that the Houston Rockets former head coach Steven Silas lost his job the day that Harden demanded a trade out of Houston. Now, I know Harden can work for a squad in the right situation, which I believe was Joel Embiid and Philly in the regular season, but not most situations. And right now, this Clippers situation, until they have an injury, doesn't make sense because he can't be the guy that he wants to be. And I'm so sick of hearing Ty Lue go to the podium after losses and say, I just want Harden to be Harden. Hell, Harden being Harden is the reason why y'all losing games. I'm tired of being a fan and realizing something that a millionaire head coach should understand. All this let Harden cook, let Harden be Harden mess, it's ridiculous. I don't feel like Westbrook got the fair end of the shake. Last time I checked, he was the only healthy star for the Clippers in the playoffs last year. I thought Brody at least deserved the right to be the starting point guard next to PG and Kawhi for at least half of the season. If it didn't work out, to me, that Harden trade would have been available at the deadline. I'm not mad at the Clippers for rushing. To be fair, Kawhi Leonard has been injury prone. I actually watched Kawhi during that Denver Nuggets game. You can literally see him pouting on the court because he's not getting the ball as much as he was like. I'm actually with the Clippers organization in that regard. They got to protect themselves as much as they can. Kawhi, for so many years now, has been in and out of the lineup, in and out, and then he's out and never back in. So I'm not even mad at the Clippers for going out and getting James Harden. My only premise is Harden doesn't work unless one of these other star players is injured or out of the lineup. All four of these dudes on the basketball is not going to work, which is why I get to my end point that somebody's going to be the fall guy for this, especially with the Clippers about to unveil a new arena in the next 18 months. Somebody's going to get fired over this disappointing run. And unfortunately, I believe that somebody's going to be the head coach. It's usually the head coach. Ty Lue going to lose his job over this James Harden move. I'm telling y'all, I'm not wrong about that. Couple that up with the Kawhi Leonard injuries, he going to get fired. I want to thank y'all so much for the time, love, and support. It's been another fantastic episode of the Hoops Ferro podcast. I appreciate y'all for rocking out with your boy. I love having y'all. If you enjoyed the great quality content on whatever platform you are watching this video on, make sure you hit me with a subscribe or follow. It truly means the world to me. We do this every single day of the NBA season. Thank y'all so much. Time, love, and support is what I will never take for granted. I am yours truly, Ferro. You can follow me on all the major platforms at Who's Ferro. I'm out.
I want to salute you, homie, you know, for building your own thing and doing your own thing.
Why build theirs when I believe I can build my own?
You've already done it, or I wouldn't be here.
I'm already the only elite sports and music journalist in the game today. My goal is simple, to be the best there's ever been. So, please don't go. Make sure you subscribe and follow the journey. It truly means everything to me. I tell stories. I talk music. I cover sports. I am culture. I am Ferro.